Ready. Let's go.
We ready to go?
Let's go.
Countdown, 3, 2, 1, bing, and we're back. What's up, people? Yo, it's ChasDre, Monster Champion. Hey, Brenda, how you doing? Gotta get up to see because I'm old and I can't see this far away, so you gotta excuse me. When we get the big TV, when we do the podcast, then I'll be able to see it. But right now, we're doing it from the phone. So today, I want to talk about mentors. So I saw a Gary Vee post today, and it said, basically, he said that we don't need mentors. Just do the work.
Oh.
Right. So, of course, I had something to say about that.
Yeah.
You know, and no disrespect to Gary Vee in any way, shape, or form. I like a good debate.
Yeah.
So, basically, my response to him was something along the lines of, yes, doing the work is very important, and we can't get around having to do the work. But, however, if you don't have your mind wrapped around what it's going to take, the discipline it's going to take, the mindset you're going to need and the strength you're going to need mentally in order to perform the task it takes to be an entrepreneur and to be successful like so many have before, then it doesn't really matter if you do the work or not, because you're never going to finish it because you don't know, you don't have it in your mind. And a lot of times what I told him was a support system that motivates you so that you can be accountable to someone besides yourself that supports you and pushes you. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think there's way too many people out there trying to tell people what to do and don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
I definitely think that's true. So his point was, go to YouTube. There's all kinds of free stuff you can get, and that's true. And I definitely agree with him. You can go to YouTube because a lot of my mentors don't even know who I am. In fact, Gary Vee is a mentor. And that's what I told him. I said, you're a mentor. I watch very closely who I allowed to influence me. And I think this is where the mentor comes in, because a lot of times the people that you have around you aren't necessarily, they may not be influencing you negatively, but they might not be influencing you positively either, or supporting you or pushing you or getting you where they're just there because they're there. Maybe family, maybe friends, whatever, but they're not actually looking out for your interests in a way that's going to push you to look out better for your interests. Because we'll get into a like comfort place, and now we got our system and we're comfortable, but where does that extra spike come from when you have to be innovative? Because you need extra spikes to level up, right? And you just don't all of a sudden create it on your own, or very rarely you do. It is possible, but for the most part, I'm thinking, look at these things. So for the most part, what I'm thinking is, that we definitely need that in order to level up. We definitely need to have someone else. Like when we go, like for example, when I played football and basketball in high school and when I was young, my family was never there. Never. My dad's never seen me play. Like, the only one who ever came was, I think I told you about my grandmother that came to the track meet the one time. Now, that one time, I came in first place. Out of every other time I raced.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That was the one time. So there's a significant difference in how you perform when you have that support behind you. Whether if it's someone you look up to and respect and they're supporting you, they may be a mentor in ways that you don't even know about. Like my grandmother was a mentor. My coach in 6th grade, the one who changed my life, he was a mentor, and they didn't know it. So I don't want to put a bad name on mentoring, but I think what I'm thinking that he's trying to get out is that there's way too many people claiming to be mentors. You know, I see 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old people saying that they're mentors because they've made money, right? But their credit is still jacked up. You know what I mean? They don't have, they're making money. They could be making millions of dollars, but they have no idea what to do with it. They don't know how to invest it. Well, they're learning, but I don't think I don't think that it's not possible to be a mentor at that young age. I think it's definitely possible. But I don't think you don't have the experience to say, I've been through this and this is how I got through it. And this is what, unless you've actually done it. So for the things you've done up to now, you could probably be a mentor for.
Right.
So I definitely think that the mentor whole living area is diluted because there's so many people claiming. So you don't know who to listen to. You don't know who to take advice from. You don't know. And then you got these people teaching these people how to be mentors or whatever it is that they're teaching, or how to build a following. I think the whole system of being a mentor and showing people how to do what you've done and been successful at may be a little bit diluted, but I definitely think, on the other hand, that we definitely need. I think everyone needs a mentor, and I think you have to determine what your current definition of mentor is. Is it a counselor? Is it someone to listen to you? Is it someone to support you when you're there, when you're going through it, to say, come on? And I also told Gary that I think it's kind of like when you go to the gym and you have someone to spot you. That's it. When you have a spotter, you're going to push a little bit harder because you know somebody got your back.
Right.
But when you're by yours, because I work out by myself all the time.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm not pushing it like that. But as soon as I get a spotter, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this out. Catch me, help me out if I need help. That's the same mindset you have that's what a mentor does.
Right.
They spot you and push you a little further than you would go if you were by yourself. So that's my argument with Gary Vee. Not argument, but debate with his point in saying, just do the work.
Right.
There's mentors all over. Yes, there is, but there's a big difference in having the mentor right there with you versus having someone you see on the internet that's making a general statement to everyone. Because I guarantee the people that I work with one-on-one would much rather work with me one-on-one as a mentor than just to see me talking to 1,000 people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Absolutely. I think a lot of things. I think definitely a mentor is no different than a coach.
Right.
Right. I guess a good coach would every good coach.
A good coach, right.
A good coach, every kid that they coach pretty much is going to say it was a mentor when they look whenever they look back at it.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that I look at it is that kid that is 16, 17, 18 who's made $1 million, who's made $200,000,
mm-hmm.
he can now mentor. There's levels.
Right.
Everybody
before him, right.
Under levels underneath him, right?
Definitely.
And he can the same way that I see kids and I just saw this yesterday in my son's wrestling practice. There were some kids in there that had graduated from, he's in elementary school, he's in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
There's some kids that are in high school now. Well, now they come back and they just roll around and they help out the kids here and there. But they're not that good.
Right, but they're better than that.
They're better than that. They got the drop on these guys.
Right,
and they're sitting there, okay, here's how to do this, and it's, but if you get those guys in the high school room, they're to beat it, nerd. You're not teaching nobody anything around here. You stay in the corner with the JV kids. Mm-hmm. That's where I see it. And so, how does anybody get to? I don't care what fucking book you're reading. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you're watching. I don't care what you're watching on YouTube. You're not going to learn how to wrestle. In high school wrestling, folk style wrestling, not WWE, folk style wrestling, you would not be able to learn from watching YouTube without a coach.
Right.
You wouldn't be able to play football at a high level, high school,
well,
without.
Not even just playing your workouts. You have to have a trainer. That's just like the NFL players. They all have trainers that keep their body. LeBron James has a coach, a mentor that trains his body year round.
How would you be able to do that, Gary? I love Gary.
Yeah, me too.
And they'll shit can my great name if they hear me talk shit about Gary. Trust me, I get it.
Right.
Please, Gary, take it. But how in the hell would these people get there? And business is actually maybe even harder than sports.
Right.
There's a lot of God-given talent that you get that can help you out on the football field or in the wrestling mat. There's not that same God-given talent besides this fucker knows how to rap. And now he's sitting there rapping, and he's used to picking up chicks. So now him making a sale on a car is not that far of a disconnect. He's still manipulating certain situations. He's still got the gift of gab. But now how does he figure out the books? How does he figure out how to be profitable? How does he figure out how to market the business? How does he figure out how to keep the employees from putting in any kind of complaints against it? How do all these things get figured? How does he figure out payroll? How does he figure out bookkeeping, new laws that come into play? How's all that get done? Do you figure it all out?
I mean, you put in the work you can, and that's basically to me, that's what he's saying. So I've asked Gary for an interview because I'd really like to talk to him about this, because and it's not about, for me, it's not about winning or losing. It's about learning. I want to learn.
I want to get what he's saying.
Yeah, I want to understand on that level, why do you think that a mentor, because I think that it's a contradiction to everything that he's doing, because he's a mentor. Even though it's free, he says, okay, stop paying for it. It's out there. It's free. But there's a significant difference to my success if I watch Gary Vee every day versus whether I'm with Gary Vee every day and he's working with me. Right. There's going to be a huge difference in my success. Right. And that's mentoring. So, and I don't think I could ask Gary that without him saying, oh, absolutely, you'd be more successful. Well, why is that? If I go and watch all your YouTube videos and I pay attention and I'm diligent in giving the best that I can do, why is it that even though I do everything that I can do, if I'm with you every day, there's going to be a significant difference in my success than if I don't and I just go do the work? And that's you. Imagine if I had you, Les Brown, Grant Cardone, all three of you, and I get to meet with you guys every day for 15, 20 minutes or an hour or whatever, right? I get to meet with the three of you for an hour a day for the next year. And then I have somebody else that's going over the same thing that you're telling me to go over, right? By themselves. But they're just watching. In fact, they get to watch the video of me hanging out with you guys. So they're learning the same thing, but on their own. They get to watch it on YouTube when I post it. So my success, I guarantee you, 100 times out of 100, there's no 99, there's no percentage.
Right.
My success over here, and I'm doing the same work, but I got you three, or just Gary, whatever.
Right.
It's going to be completely different than over here.
I'm hoping that the spirit of what he's saying is, get your ass up and go do it. Because too many people are looking for, let me go and learn from Grant Cardone. Let me go learn from Gary Vee. Let me go learn from Brian Dean. Let me go figure out what these other guys are saying. And then I'm going to go out and do the work. And they're spending all the time in the classroom. That to me makes sense. But unless you're discounting yourself, Gary, which I know you're not, there's the value that you bring to the table for anybody, or else how in the hell are you charging the amount of money that you're charging to come out and actually do stuff when you do it? Every one of these things that I know that he's going to go do, every time I see him, he's got a circle full of people around him on a round table, and I know goddamn well that they spent good money to get him there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That wasn't free. Maybe he's doing some pro bono work or cutting some deals here and there, but for the most part, how in the hell can you go out and charge X amount of dollars to actually go do that unless you think that you're delivering value?
Right.
And what are you going to deliver value as? You're not a cheerleader when you're out there. What are you when you're out there? You're coaching, you're mentoring.
Right.
A group of fucking people that are giving you a lot of fucking money. Right. Why? Because mentoring is important. Now, if they sat in that phone booth with you for every single day for 8 hours a day and never got out to actually go do the work, there's no production. There's no progress.
Right.
You're not getting ahead because all of it's still here. I'm assuming that that's what he meant. I didn't actually hear what he's talking about here. Mm-hmm. But if that's what he's talking about, that makes a lot of sense, because these guys are trying to figure out, I need to know what to do here. I need the right move here. I need the right move there. A lot of times the right move is get your ass out there. The trick to getting ahead is getting started.
So right. I definitely think there's a mixture of, you got to go out and do it. Like when I'm being mentored, I don't stop what I'm doing to learn. While I'm learning, I'm doing. And at the same time that I learn, as soon as I learn something, I try to teach somebody else what I just learned.
Yeah.
Because you always learn faster when you're teaching it.
Agreed.
So ultimately, we're all mentors all the time. And I tell everybody, like, what's this? I'm not a role model. Is that Charles Barkley that said that a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
And what we fail to realize is that once we're adults and we have people looking up at us, whether we are celebrities, not whatever, kids are watching us.
Right.
They're watching all of us. They're not just watching the star. Like, they might pay attention to the things on their phone a little bit more, but we're even on their phones if we want to be. Like what we are now with YouTube and the podcast and all of that. But we don't have a choice but to be role models because they're following our lead. You could tell a kid, oh, don't do what I do what I say. Nobody does that. We all know kids do what you do. Right. If you drink your whole life and do drugs, your kids are probably going to stay in jail. Your kids there's a high chance that they're going to do the same thing.
Right.
But if you're reading books and you're a professor,
right,
or you're an entrepreneur, there's a good chance your kids are going to do the same thing because kids do what you do. That means you are a mentor, whether you like it or not. And then the people that they look up to, such as like the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, the Snoop Dogg's, and all the people that are celebrities that are out there making Taraji P. Henson's, all the people that are doing their thing, they're role models too, whether they want to be or not. You know, the Cardi B's and all of those people that are putting out whatever message they're putting out, they have a huge audience of people listening to them that are, without them even knowing, they're mentoring them. That means what they're saying is going into their energy, into their aura, into their DNA.
Right.
And you got to decide you're responsible for what you put into other people's DNA, whether you want to or not. So it goes way deeper than just you don't need a mentor, do the work to be successful, because I know, you know, Gary Vee knows there's way more to it than just get out and doing the work.
That's the idea behind work smarter and not harder.
Well,
right?
Absolutely.
I go out there and beat this damn thing to death. Isn't that what the seven habits of highly effective people? The guy's out there sawing all day long. He's sitting there sawing the shit, and this other guy walks up. Man, you look. Like, you're all what's up with you?
We gotta figure out a better way to do this.
I'm sawing. Well, why don't you sharpen that saw? It's not working very good.
Right.
I have no time to do that. I'm sawing. And
oh yeah, you got to take time to take care of that. The equipment. Right.
That's the mentoring part. Is you taking time to sharpen the saw. Maybe that's you doing the work yourself. Sometimes it's you going into the classroom to get it done with the mentor. Sometimes it's watching the mentor on the YouTube channels. But I've been working with Allison for the last month, 5 weeks. I mean, there's a lot of different... The way that my mind is spinning is in a different direction. Mm-hmm. Every time I see her, it slightly moves.
Right.
Slightly, and it's more headed north.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see it. It's just little by little. And there were things that I knew that were off, but now I can clearly see where they're off. Mm-hmm. And there's stuff that I thought maybe it's off, maybe it's not. And she's saying it's totally off. And then there's other shit that I thought was right. And she's saying it's off. Mm-hmm. So all this slowly but surely, and this is only
shifting.
I'm shifting.
And that's
shifting processes. I'm shifting mindset. And all of this is making a big deal over 3 different meetings over the course of 5 weeks, and each meeting was only an hour and a half to 2 hours. So in the course of 5 to 6 hours of mentoring, no YouTube video, no nothing like that, because this all had to be tailored to this business. It's not tailored to a gardener. It's not tailored. Her mentoring was tailored to this business. And the way that she had to understand it and then kind of help me with the direction of it. All that leads me to believe that that's completely out in left field, that mentoring is not super important.
Yeah, because I'm about this. Funny you say that, because I just met with Allison the other day, so she's going to start working with me also. You know what I mean? I think everyone needs a mentor. Not just for support, but So you don't have to. You can cut off years of your life of learning. Like it's like a cheat sheet.
Yes.
They're gonna keep you from making strange year-long mistakes.
Yes.
Because they've done it. Like Allison is the perfect example.
Yeah.
Like she is going to save me so much time.
Yeah.
So much money.
Yes.
And so much love. Everything on every level within my businesses and just my mindset and everything.
Yes.
That I don't know what I'd do without it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the heck was I doing before?
Right.
Trying to figure it out. Like, you have to have someone that knows. Like, when I started my social media marketing business, and I met, and I started talking to Billy Jean, the guy I bought the stuff from, the courses from.
Billy Jean Marketing.
Right.
I got one too.
Yeah. So when I've been learning, taking his courses for the last year.
How are they?
Year or so.
How you like them?
Awesome. Yeah. I knew I had a marketing agency back in the early 2000s. It was nothing. Facebook wasn't here, social media wasn't here, and all of that. So it was completely different. So I had to relearn everything over again on a social media level, and it was one of the hardest lessons ever learned. It was so hard, but I had him all the way through.
Right.
Videos, him talking to him and calling and texting and all of these things all the way through. And maybe not him personally, but someone with him. Right. And then I built a relationship with him, like online, through freaking Xbox. So we start talking. He gives tips, but like I don't talk to him about business or anything like that. We just hang out, play basketball, and that's it. But if I have a question, he'll answer it. I don't try to take his value. I know it's value, and I don't try to get it for free. I'm willing to pay him for it. But without me getting that mentoring from him, there's no way I'd have a successful marketing agency right now. And I do. I have people I have meetings all day today for marketing, and that's not even my main focus. That's not my main job. My main focus is my coaching and mentoring and speaking and public speaking and all of that. That's my main thing. But the marketing, that brings in revenue. That brings in the revenue so I can build up my coaching and my mentoring. And because there's a lot of things out there that people need to know early. And this is where I think mentoring really comes in. My whole message to everybody about mentoring relies on one key phrase. I want to teach the young early what I learned late. Everything I learned when I was 40, I should have learned when I was in 6th grade, because then it would have been implanted into my DNA to where I was more open to it. After, your teens, it's hard to incorporate something new other than what's been implanted in you when you're young. So if you start implanting that mindset into kids when they're 4, 5, 6, 7, they're going to grow up with that mentality.
Right.
You know what I mean? Financial literacy, understanding money, and understanding, because kids like to buy stuff. They want stuff. If you teach them how to get it, Grant Cardone makes his daughters work for everything. They know how to go get money. They know how to sell. They know how to offer value for value. They understand that. They're 5, 6, 7 years old? And they'll tell you quick. They'll tell you online, this is what you need to do. You need to come buy my tickets. They'll tell you quick. You need to buy my daddy tickets, because if I don't sell 3 of these tickets, he said I can't go. So I need somebody to buy me my 3 tickets. You see what I'm saying? Like, he'll do stuff like that, and that teaches them. It's all fun and good, but that's going to stay with them forever. Because when they're up and they're in their 20s and 30s and on stage, now they've got 20 plus years of experience of mentoring from Grant Cardone. You don't have any choice but to be successful when you're. So I completely disagree with the whole idea of not needing a mentor, but I completely agree with do the work. Just go do the work, because you have to do the work while you're being mentored. The mentor is there to keep you from making the same dumb mistakes that they did.
Yes.
They're to guide you through it so you can get it done right. So everybody, Russell Brunson does it with his ClickFunnels. It took him 10 years to get it right. They had to try how many times before they finally got it right. So what he does is he tells you, this is the things that I did that didn't work. We've got it set up so you can use the things that we used that did work. And if you need coaching, counseling, you can pay for that. If you need, we can walk you through it. Now, ultimately, that's a ploy to make money. But everybody's got to make money.
But
everybody's got to make money. And if it's valuable, as long as the value is equal to the value being given and taken, then everyone's happy.
Yeah, you can't. I've always heard this, that a third of your time should be spent mentoring, right? Other people that are on the levels, people below you. You should be helping them level up. Then you should have a third of your time that's spent with your peers, right? That are kind of you feed off of, and they're feeding off of you.
Right.
You guys are at the same level. And then the next third of your time is spent with those, learning from the mentors, learning from the Grant Cardones, from the Allisons of the world that are sitting there kicking us in the right direction and helping us not waste time, helping us sharpen up that saw, and really helping us shave those years off so that this way it doesn't take 30 years to create what we should have done in 10 or 12 or less, right? So I there is some merit to that piece, and I don't know that it's a third is the right way, but I've heard that it's a third. Whatever the numbers are, everybody's got to make those for themselves, but you should be trying to level other people up, right? And mentor others in some fashion. And then you're going to need other mentors too. You can't walk, as in our world with the car dealers, you can't just come on from the streets and think, I know how to sell. I'm going to just start selling $5,000 cars in the middle of Fresno, or in the middle of Orange County, or in the middle of the Bay Area. Because I know car. I worked at a dealership, so I know the dealer business. It's a lot more than what you think it is. Trust me. Trust me, there's a lot more to it. You want to start flipping cars in California, it's a different experience if you're trying to make a business out of it. Is it going to be wholesale? Is it going to be retail? You're doing auto brokering. What's the plan? And having a mentor could shave $100,000 off of this proposition for you in 3 years, and it could shave 3 years off of the 5-year plan for you. So you, if you were coached properly and mentored properly from the beginning, and you're starting your business today, it could be someplace in 5 years, or it could be at that same place in 2 years for a lot cheaper, with the right mentor involved, and you spending the right amount of dedication, and not just fucking around and sitting there in the whole time and not getting it on and not using what they say. Because guess what? Every time I go see Allison, you know what she gives me on my way out? Is about 10 days worth of fucking homework. It's exactly what I get on the way out with the hug and I'll see you next time. Here's a bunch of damn homework, and I got to go out and do it now. She just spent an hour and a half, 2 hours with me, but now there's 10 days worth of work. Some of it's not even 10 days worth of work. Some of it'll take 6 months to actually do, but it's an ongoing process.
Right.
It's just, okay, start putting together process, for this, and now, okay, every week at a time, it's going to be, or it's an ongoing thing. Check your bank accounts every day. Okay, that's not something I'm going to do one day and it's done. That's something I'm going to do now for the rest of my life now, is she's got me checking fucking bank accounts every day. Is anything missing? Is anything wrong? Did anybody steal from you today? Is there something you don't understand? Because you got to get control of this business. And every single day you're going to have to look at your finances to really make sure you understand what this is, what's that, how's this happening? Because ours is, there's a lot of money that comes in, but then a lot of money has to go out to the companies to pay for these bonds. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about $1 million, $800,000 that goes through the cycle. Mm-hmm. If you don't know where all this is going and coming and going and coming,
it can get messed up quick.
You could overlook a lot of shit, and especially once it's out of sight, out of mind, and then you try to get back in touch with it every month. Let's say, fuck, I'm out of sorts now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, the first day or two were painful. But then after this, now it's 15 minutes, because I already know what's up. Or 10 minutes. Boom, and I'm out. Boom, and I'm out. And it's a lot quicker because now I got to process it. It took me 5-10 days to get the swing of things, and it took me another few days to be able to call it kind of a habit. Now I'm just, every day. It's right in the morning. I just, boom, where's it at? I got to hurry up and look at it. That's the kind of thing that mentors do, is they're trying to shave that shit off. Cut this corner here. I got into woodworking for a little while. There was no way in the world I could have figured out half the shit that I was figuring out. No way. This angle, you got to cut it at this angle instead of this angle for this to be able to butt next to each other, or else later on down the line it's going to start splitting, and in 6 years this piece is going to split. You're going to have to redo the whole thing. oh shit, my God. And how? Not through any other way than through that exact piece. And this kind of gets me to what I wanted to talk about, which was it all kind of intersects with this idea of addition by subtraction. So yes, you're gonna have to chew the meat and spit out the bones, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're doing all these things, adding mentoring and getting mentored is a tough thing to not juggle with everything else. You might have to subtract a little. Mm-hmm. You might have to subtract a little off the time that you're spending watching TV if you're gonna actually go spend 2 hours every 10 days getting mentored. I might have to spend a little time away from other things that I like doing to go and get this mentoring done. Because now there's an exchange of time, right? There's an addition, but it's by subtraction. Mm-hmm. I gotta now subtract some things out too. Because there's not an infinite amount of time. I can't just go watch Gary Vee and then go watch Grant Cardone. We only got a limited amount of time. So now, whatever's in there that's gotta get pulled out. Maybe you like watching something. Maybe you like doing something. Maybe you do it just a slight bit less. But those things where you're going to have to start to figure out what can you pull out if you're going to put in this extra time. Because you can't really take it from the production. You can't really take the time that you're using to get mentored. Taking that from producing is a tough thing. I kind of called it this morning. Taking the whole morning out to do a podcast is tough because it takes the rest of the production from that morning out. And now where do you put it?
Right.
Do you lose it? What happens to that production? Right? Yeah. That's the concept. Is if you're getting mentored, you probably want to take that time that you're getting mentored from a different spot other than the time that you're using to produce for the rest of the business.
Right.
Right? Because then the rest of the business is shrinking while you're gaining information.
Right.
And eventually this will be able to shoot you out and get you back up, and now you're only back to square one.
Yeah, you have to have a balance. I think there's definitely a balance that you need to have when you're doing your mentoring. I think it's like just like anything, you got to be able to multitask and do, everything at once. So, and ultimately, I'd rather be in the fire while I'm getting mentored rather than try to remember it later. If you're going to tell me to do something and then I got to remember it for later, the likelihood of me remembering it well enough to do it right is probably not as good as if I'm doing it while you're telling me. And then I go through muscle memory, so there's different parts of me remembering rather than just me hearing you say it. Now I've done it, I know what it looks like, so all of those things are I think are important when it comes to mentoring, because they're going to know how to do, like I know how to do things with my mind that most people don't even fathom. They don't even think that way, that it's even possible. But just a few minutes of tweaking and their whole life is changed just from understanding that you can actually think a different way than you do. And that takes someone who knows how to do that. Like, you're not just going to figure it out on your own. The likelihood of that happening is very, very slim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always good to try to get away with cheating the ultimate system, which is learning early so you don't have to pay for it later.
The Mentor Box. I don't know. Have you ever heard of Mentor Box?
It sounds familiar.
Mentor Box is a company that Ty Lopez is a part owner of. And they created a system where they get all these high-level books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the 10X Rule. They get all these different books, the business books, and they go and get the author. And they get them in, and they take them for about an hour, and they ask, so what was, tell us about the book. You wrote the motherfucker. What is it about? Talk to us about it. What's the concept? Sum it up. These guys aren't going to go read the whole damn thing. Sum it up for them in an hour. Tell us everything about it, and tell us the stuff that's not in it. Tell us what you learned in between the time that you wrote it to now.
Okay.
Right? And so it's fast tracking that whole book. Mm-hmm. You now get it in a short amount of time. It takes $7 a month. And you get that book and all the knowledge. There's still probably something that's, you go back and now it's, oh shit, I didn't know that's what it was about. Now let me go and order it on Audible. Okay, well, now I know. But at least it helps you encapsulate a lot of the big ideas in all of these good books. in a way that's not being told by some third party, being told by the fucker that actually wrote it. Right? Which, any way that you're consuming information, again, as long as where you're consuming it as, your consumption of information should be coming in exchange for your entertainment or your leisure. Sometimes that extra leisure time, and don't get me wrong, everybody needs time to decompress. Everybody needs time to recharge the batteries, but the extra time that you're not dedicating the right way, that if you dedicate it to trying to sharpen the saw a little bit here and there, and it has to be somewhat intentional. You have to kind of write out or line out, okay, it's Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a half hour. On my way from work, here's what I'm going to start doing. Have some type of plan of when you're going to do this, to when it's going to make most sense for you to get this education, this mentoring, off time, off the clock. Once you're off the clock, because the more you can get it when you're off the clock, the more it doesn't impede and it doesn't hurt production, because production still has to go at the same time as you're gaining knowledge, right? Which is half the problem with college, is if there's no production while you're in the classroom. It's all just, let me teach it to you right now, and then in 4 years, once you can get out into the real world and actually use some of this shit, hope it's not obsolete, and hope you remember it all. Because you didn't really get a chance to use it in real time like you were talking about, using it. And now you got to go out and hope that you remembered it from the test that you took, that you crammed to take, that likely and statistically you won't remember any of.
No, because you're not taught to try to be successful and learn what you're doing. You're taught to memorize it. That's it. Memorize it for the test and then move on. In some instances, some types of industries you have to remember, like being a doctor, lawyer, or all of that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you're just remembering enough to pass the test and get your degree and get out of there. So I'm not a big fan of the whole schooling system, because if you really want to learn something, you don't need school to do it. I think the whole idea of mentoring is what school should be based on.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than gathering all the kids together, throwing them in there and saying, this is what you need to know. No, I don't think people necessarily learn that way. You know what I mean? And we're finding that out more and more every day. That way, with all the technology and all the resources that we have today, is not even necessary anymore. Right. You know what I mean? A lot of kids are being homeschooled. They're taking them out of school because of the influences and the bullying and the stupid stuff that you're going to get into. Right. Like, I have clients that took their kids right out. They're like, I need help with my kids. And I told them the problem isn't the kid. The problem is the surroundings of the kid. You got them in this hell every day, and they come home acting crazy and doing stuff, and you're wondering why they're doing it. Right. Get them the hell out of there. Next thing you know, she's homeschooled. Oh yeah, we're not. I asked her the other day, how's she doing? Oh, she's awesome. Not homeschooled? She's still home? Yep, still homeschooled. This is a year and a half later. But the problem ceased as soon as the influence ceased. But without me mentoring the mom and the daughter to know that, she'd be committing suicide or doing some crazy stuff. When it could be something as simple as your surroundings, or, who I think really does it to the extreme, where I think it's used for what it is, rather than being appreciative for what it is. And that's in the MLM industry. I've noticed that I get hit up a lot for different MLMs, and I like the whole business of MLM. I think it's a good business. I think it's cool. You know what I mean? It's not my thing.
Right.
I know that, but I don't have a problem with it. It's just not. I have a lot of problems with the way that it's done, and I think that the whole mentoring aspect of it, because that's how you're supposed to come in. Like, someone brings you in and they mentor you through and teach you how to do the business, and then ultimately they're just getting you to come in so that you can be under them. Right.
Pyramid scheme.
Right. But the whole idea is you're a mentor to them to bring them up, and then they mentor someone else and mentor. So where the whole idea of being mentored is so diluted and so false and fake. Because I go to these events and I've seen them. everybody's jumping up and down, everybody's all excited, everybody wants to be your friend until you're not doing what they want. And then all of a sudden, you're non-existent anymore. And I was speaking to someone the other day, and I was telling them, I don't want friends like that. Like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the hype. I'm a motivational speaker, so I don't need to be hyped up to go do what I need to do. You know, and I don't need that type of a mentor. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I need to make sure my mind is straight for what I'm already doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand the numbers when it comes to MLMs. Yes, there's a lot of money in it. I've met hundreds of thousands of people in MLMs over the last 4 years, and I'd say maybe 20 of them are actually making really, really good money. Yeah. Maybe 20 or 30. Something like that. 20 or 30 total that are making really, really good money. Yeah. That's out of hundreds of thousands of people. That doesn't sound like something that I'm interested in. And then I also understand that in order to really succeed in the MLM, you have to come with a squad. Like everybody that I see that are making money in those come with 50 to 100 people already that they put immediate. So they automatically go, and then those people are going and getting, so they already come with a team. Whereas if you're like me, I don't have 50 to 100 people that I'm going to call and say, hey, come try this for $300, $400, $500. Yeah. I've never had, that's not something that I do. That's not my bag. I'm not known for that. Right. So for me to go to my friends or whoever and say, to do this, to me, it didn't seem right. In dealing with them. I'm like, because I'm there. Then it's like I'm being pulled between, are you my friend or are you coming and making money off of you? Right. And I don't want that to be, like, I want my friends are the ones I do business with. Like, I'll buy their services, they buy my services. But we know what we're getting. There's no, I want you to come in and then I'm a mentor, all of this. It's like it's a whole mentoring scheme. To me, that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't want fake mentors. I don't need you to tell me how much the top earners are making or top people are what they're. I don't care what they're doing. Show me their tax returns.
Yeah, not
you know
the
what I'm
top
saying?
ones.
Yeah, not the top ones. Show me yours. Show me what you did last year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that'll change everything. They're like, oh well, you know. Yeah. There was this one lady I know. She was in one. I think it was ACN or something like that, and she was in there 5 years. She made $11 a month. 5 years. I saw her. She was like $11.32. She's been making that. That's the most she's made. 5 years. She's been spending money going to these events and all that. So I'm not bashing the MLM industry in any way. Yeah. What I'm saying is you have to be smart about the way that you go about doing things. Yeah. Because if you're in an MLM or you're in the mentoring state and you're not making any money, you know what I mean? If you're not if you have to have a job, a side job, and the MLM, it's probably not, it's probably not good. It's not really the thing. It's not working out. It's not going to work out. You know what I mean? Because the likelihood of you getting one person. They make it sound easy, right? One person. First off, that type of marketing is obsolete. It doesn't work anymore. Nobody likes knocking on doors, talking person, referrals. That stuff with the internet now and the way that it's being done, you don't need to. Like, if I go into MLM, the only way I would go into an MLM right now is if I had 30 grand for marketing. That's it. Because I'm not going to talk to 200,000 people. Not at all. Yeah. But if I spend $5 grand a month, I'll get 200 leads every month. I'll close 100 of them, 30%, say 30%. So 60 to 90 of them, 80 of them, whatever, a month. If I do that for 6 months, I'm at the top of the company. I don't have to do anything else. Everybody's working for me. I'm done. But if you're not coming in with an investment or a team that you already have put together over the years, then what you're planning on doing is working the next 5 to 10 years to make $11.62 a month.
Right.
And if you don't get that from the jump, then you're going to waste a lot of time, which you can't get back. You can get money back. That's why I would rather invest my money in an MLM than my time. I'm not giving no MLM no time. No. No. You can't have no time because I can't get that back. What I will do is if I think you have a good product, and I have an extra 5 or 10 grand a month laying around, Yeah, I'll invest. But I'm sure I have something else to do with my 5 or 10 grand to invest in than to your MLM.
I think that's the point.
I got 3 businesses that I need that money to market for.
Right.
So why am I going to market someone else's business? Right. That's not my dream. That's your dream. That's whoever's at the top. That's your dream. All we're doing is working for you to make your dream come true, and you're making it seem like it's our own business.
Yeah.
That to me is not mentoring. And I think that on that level, what Gary was saying is, yeah, you don't need that shit. Go out there and figure it out. Right. You know what I mean? And having the support system and everybody rooting for you all the time. I get that. Like, I don't need that type of mentor.
Right.
I need a mentor that's actually focused on me and my business, and that likes me, and that wants me to be better.
Yeah.
Me personally. Knows me, hangs out with me, knows my family. I know them. Like, we're family almost. That's how close mentors have to be.
Yeah.
If you're just worried about how many sales I got last week, or how many people I brought in, or how many people I talked to, and we're not really friends. You're not really a mentor. This is a company that's looking for numbers, and I have a job. This is my job, and that's what you're interested in. So those are the differences between what I see with what he's talking about, and taking it to the extreme, and that's the extreme level. There's levels before that are bad, but not as bad. Right. But they all go to that level. But I think on the good side, it's definitely necessary if your heart's in the right place. Because when I mentor people, I genuinely want to give them more than what they paid me for, and I always do. This isn't about money for me. It's about making a difference. We all got to eat, so my time is valuable. I know it's worth this. I'm going to charge this. But you're going to get way more than that anyway.
Yeah.
You're not going to get, what kind of numbers did you get this week? How many people did you talk to? Oh, you're not getting promoted? Oh, we're not talking to you now. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that I kind of saw. I'm like, people that I thought were like friends and homies and stuff, and they're like, nah, I'm good.
What about the numbers?
Right. What's up with the numbers? You selling anything? You got anything going? Oh, we don't need to. Let me talk to the people that are doing something.
Right.
Like, okay, then we're not really friends.
Right.
You're just someone I know that claim to be my friend. When I say I'm a friend, that means we're friends. Like, you can call me in the middle of the night. I'll help you with anything. But for that type of establishment, they take that for granted. They take advantage of it. And they're like, okay, because he knows we're going to show him that we're going to mentor, so we'll get him to do anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, because I'll do anything. If we're a part of a team, and I'll do my part, their part, every part, let's get it done. But if I don't see everybody like that, everybody's just benefiting from it. When you're at the bottom, and you're like, what's going on, over the next 6 months that you're shelling out, because you're, like, you start off shelling out. When do you make that money back?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it could take you 8 months to make the $500 back that you paid to start with.
4 years.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So to me, and then there's, well, you didn't work hard enough. You didn't talk to enough people. You didn't. It's always, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, manipulating the situation to best suit you doesn't work. You got to take responsibility. Your shit don't fucking work. For the average everyday individual. Right. It works for people that have a large following of people. Mm-hmm. You go to a CDO of a company, he's going to get his whole company to follow you. Right. You go to someone who, you know what I mean, that has 70 employees, he can get 30 of his employees or 40 of his employees to follow, and then they'll get their friends. Right. Yeah. Right. But if you're going to the regular everyday individual, this is something, like, this might be a training course I put out. Why to stay away from MLMs. They're not that bad, but they might not be for you. You know
probably not for you.
Right.
Most likely.
And MLMs will have a heart attack because it's true. Look, stop going after the people that barely make enough money and making them seem like that they can be rich if they they only got so much time. So if they work, I know a girl that says she works 17 hours a day on her MLM. Right? 17 hours a day, 6 days a week.
She must be rich.
Hell no, she ain't rich. I don't think she's rich. I didn't ask her how much money she makes.
Oh, wow. Man, that's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time.
Wow.
I'm not putting 17 hours into anything a day.
Especially if it's not your own business.
Anything that doesn't belong to me. If it's mine, it's got my name on the registration. You know what I mean? If it's my tax ID, if it's my bank account that the money's going into, I'll put 17 hours in. But I'm not giving nobody else 17 hours of my time.
What's called passion? that's when it's yours.
Yeah, other called stupidity.
It's called stress.
Right.
That's what you're taking on for somebody else, and you're working that much. Is you're taking on all that stress. And at this point, we've shit-canned Gary Vee here. We've shit-canned the MLM industry.
I don't hold no punches. I don't really have a problem.
We're calling it like it is, though.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of them. I just want to be straight with, really what it comes down to is if you want to be successful, yeah, you got to get around the right people. Maybe not everybody's a mentor, I get that. But you definitely need some people around that know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's really important. Don't just start it and be like, you know what, I'm going to just handle this. Because you're not going to handle it. You're going to be twiddling your thumbs, going in circles for years. Yeah. And then when you finally get a mentor, they're going to do for you in 6 months what took you 8 years to not do.
Right. And I've seen guys get a hold, you mentioned getting a hold of the right mentor. I've seen people get a hold of the wrong mentor. And now they're all of a sudden, they're not quite taking you down the MLM road, but they're taking you down just buy in the car dealer industry. They're talking about just buy this kind of car because it always sells. Everybody loves trucks. Everybody loves this. Everybody loves this auction. And sometimes, depending on what it is, you really got to chew the meat and spit out the bones and figure out, is that necessarily something that I should be listening to? You got to do your due diligence to figure out if this is real. Before I decided to go with Allison to mentor me, I did about 4 hours of research on her. Mm-hmm. Just to figure out, who is this lady? What the hell did she do in her prior life?
Right.
That makes her good enough to sit there and talk shit to me and give me fucking homework for 10 days at a time. What's up with that? And so, after an hour of research, I was like, fuck, this is the real deal.
Yeah, she is.
And then after another hour, I was like, fuck, I really think this might be a blessing in disguise. After about the third, fourth hour, I was like, I gotta hurry up and send her this email. When are we gonna meet? It was, but I had to do my due diligence, or else I'm sitting here just taking whoever's telling me bullshit, telling me a mentor isn't important.
Go to YouTube.
Or go to
fuck to YouTube and do
MLM is the best.
Right.
Or they've got these affiliate products you can go out there and sell. This is the idea of less is more.
And I don't think anything's wrong with those things. I just think, and I do agree with Gary Vee on this, you gotta figure out what your bag is. That shit is not my bag. MLM that's not my thing. I know that's not me.
Less is more.
It's just, it's not, so you gotta, it's just as important to say no as it is to say yes.
Less is more.
Exactly. Regardless of what the outcome and what people think, I don't give a shit what people think. I just saw this. You heard about a guy named Sam Ovens? Heard of Sam Ovens? No.
Okay. Sam Ovens just did this. This is real simple. You're the sun. Mm-hmm. Let's imagine you got 5 different ways that you're putting out. It's all energy. Mm-hmm. You've got 1 inch of energy here, 1 inch of energy here. You've got them going in 5 different directions. Your energy's spread in 5 different directions. You've only got so much of it. You got 17 hours in a day. You're spreading it in 5 different directions. Or are you spreading it in 1 direction? Which way is going to give you the most push?
1.
You're gonna have a slight execution on the 5 about that much, or you're gonna have 1 execution that's way out here.
Yep.
Right.
That's exactly it.
Less is more, and that's addition by subtraction. You're subtracting from all these other 5 things that you could be doing. There's the subtraction. Here's the addition. It's all going into this 1. It's all going into this piece that you own, that you control. That's not somebody else's dream. It's kind of that opportunity costs. Mm-hmm. If you're into MLM and you're into this other thing and you're into affiliate marketing and you're into all these different things, there's an hour. If you're into all these different things, you're not into anything.
Right.
You gotta sit there and, like you said, isolate what you're good at, isolate where your strengths, your weaknesses are, pick a lane. and then run as fast as you can. Don't start looking around. Oh, should I jump into this lane? Maybe I should take off my pants and go jump in the pool. Get your ass out there and just go run. You're funny. In one lane. Get your ass out there and go run.
That's what Allison was, when we met this past week, she was telling me the same thing. She's like, you're too spread out. You have to concentrate on one of the things you're doing, make that work, and then do the others. However, but then we had to figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing,
right,
versus what it is that's making me money,
right,
and then what is my other thing that I'm doing that I partner with. Okay. Where does my energy need to go?
Yeah.
So right now, of course, my energy needs to go into marketing.
Right.
Concentrate your efforts on that. Blow that up. Then do your ChasDre public speaking, because now you have the money to put into marketing yourself.
Yeah.
And doing everything that you need to do to blow that up. And then Money Camp, which is the education, I'm not even going to be running that. That I hire people to do. So she just kind of broke it down for me, which is I was coming to anyway. And me and my partner, we were talking about how I can't do all of that I'm doing because I have to stay focused on what's going to get us where we need to go.
Right.
And it once we broke it down like that, it was simple.
It was. It is.
It's like, okay, I'll just do this. Leave the rest alone. Now, mind you, I still do the podcast, and I have the one-on-ones with people, and people still hire me for that. But honestly, I don't market the marketing. I don't market ChasDre. I don't market any of the stuff that I do. Yet, I don't really need to, because until I can scale up, I can't even handle any anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the infrastructure that's where we're at right now.
Right.
She's like, okay, this right here, what are you doing with this? I could probably make money. Get the fuck out of here. Zip all that shit. They were like, how about this one? We got the infrastructure ready for that one. But does it mix well with what your real core intelligence is? And you've got intelligence here.
How about no?
What are you doing over here?
Leave that shit up. Yeah, that's exactly.
Stop fucking around with that shit. This you gotta outsource. Stop fucking around with that.
Yep,
you've got an intelligence. You've got a certain thing that you've got, and your core competency is here. You need to be building out on here, because here you're better in class than here. You can get some other fucking shift some shit around here. This is your core competency, where you're light years ahead of the competition that you're in with. This is the area that you've got to really leverage, maximize, optimize, do what you got to do to get the infrastructure in place to blow this up. This other shit, eventually, if you want to make something happen, that's fine. But this is your real core competency. Get there, outsource some other shit, but stay in this lane. This is the lane you need to be in, because here is where your muse is. Here's where your genius comes in. All this other shit, you're just mediocre at. Here, you're top of class. Why are you spending time here? You're a C student here. You're an A+ student here.
That's what it comes down to.
What are you doing?
I told you, it's the focus. All that we want to bark at everything that goes by, right?
This is more.
Yeah. So I'm like, I understand. I got my 3 things, and that's all. And people are coming to me with so many temptations to do other things. And as I get more focused on not being tempted, the more tempted I am. More things that come to me to take me off of focus. And now I'm to the point where I pay no attention whatsoever. I'm just like, nope. I'm not even being nice about it. Like, I used to be nice and be like, well, let me look at it and see. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's just because you're just wasting time.
Yeah. Sure.
And that's time I could be spending on my marketing.
On where
I should be.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because there's a reason I had to learn all of this marketing and went through a year and a half or whatever learning it. I know there's a reason I had to learn it. I don't know what it is, but evidently I'm supposed to know this. So I know it. So now I'm doing it. But now it's getting to the point where I don't even, it's so good. I have a sales team that brings me clients. My team that I have that does all does all the work, the campaign, everything, the Instagram, YouTube, everything that we do. I had 15 different people working with me that I'd outsource stuff to. Like, I can do it all, but why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I have it to where I don't need this whole team. Now I've streamlined it to where now I can do everything, and I can add some bonuses as to how many leads you're going to get a month based on how much. I can tell you almost exactly how many you're going to get. How many you close is up to you. But these are people that have come to you. You know, so when I started off, I was at this place, right? Say last January. I was at this place. Since then, and everything I've learned and everything I've done and our advancement and what I've been able to do as far as connections and mentoring and understanding what's going on, I've come all the way past up here. And now it's so much simpler than when I learned. When I learned it, I was like, oh my goodness, I got to do everything.
Right.
But now I'm like, I don't even try to sell people anymore. I don't care if you do it or not.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You're going to have to spend money on marketing.
Right.
Would you rather know what you're going to get when you're spending it?
Yeah.
Or would you rather throw it in the air and hope and pray like you've been doing? Because either way is fine with me. I'm not here to take your money. All I'm here to do, and then once it works, once they see the first month and they get 17 new leads in the month before they had 2, it changes the way they see things. Now it takes away that stress. It takes away that, understanding that, oh, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I got to sit here and wait, hope I get a lead. No, as soon as it comes to your phone.
Yeah.
Comes to your phone, you can call them, they'll call you, whatever you want to do, handle it.
Yeah.
And it's also, so it makes it so much simpler. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I'm concentrating all my efforts to where I'm supposed to be. That's why I'm moving so fast. That's why I'm able to do what I'm able to do with the marketing. And still, because the motivational speaking and the mentoring, it's like that's not even a job. I get paid to do it, but all I'm doing is teaching other people how I learned to get through everything I've been through. And basically, everything I've been through is probably whatever they're going through right now. I can handle pretty much any situation because I've been through so much shit in my life. And because I've been able to have the mindset of a champion when I did it and got through it, or now that I've been through it and learned from it, I'm able to teach others. So now I'm just telling people my story and helping them out.
Right.
They just happen to be paying me for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you're still taking a certain part of my time and my energy.
Right.
So, and there's value in that.
Sure.
So, and they know they're getting everything from me
Yeah.
in that time. Whereas the marketing, now it pretty much can run itself. You know what I mean? And it's just the foundation for it is just starting. But I know within a few months, everything in my life is going to change based on me focusing my energy here.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying?
Agreed. It's the same thing for us. We're going to that same less is more direction of gotta consolidate all this energy, push it right into this direction,
Yep.
and start outsourcing a bunch of this other shit. One, the people who can do it better than me. I'm not a control freak, but I want to make sure certain things are done right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do it at least as good as I can, or better.
Here you go.
I'm trying to outsource a lot of these pieces to really free me up to get into this one lane where I'm really fast. Usain Bolt belongs running this one race, and it's not the marathon.
No,
he doesn't
no.
belong running that marathon. He doesn't belong running the 2-mile run. He is really best in class in this one set of races.
That's it. Leave him there.
That's
Train him
where
on
he
that.
needs to go.
That's
He's
it.
not world-class wrestler. He's not a world-class football player. He's not a world-class in weightlifting. But he is world-class at this speed thing. Get him into that lane and let him go.
I think we need to do that on every level as far as kids are concerned too, because I remember in high school I played like 3 or 4 different sports. If I would have concentrated my efforts on one sport,
That's interesting too. Yeah.
I'd have been 100 times better at that sport.
Right.
And my main sport, I stopped playing in 9th grade. The sport I was best at. The sport I loved the most was basketball. The sport I was best at was baseball. But I played football because everybody wanted me to play because I was fast. But I should have skipped football because it's a dumb sport. Played basketball, played basketball, but definitely stayed with baseball.
Right.
Basketball because I love it, baseball because that's what I was good at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I had it to do over again, and then if I was made to pick one, say you can only have one, I would have to say baseball. Because I did love baseball just as much as basketball, it was just boring to me.
Would you have been able to handle that boredom through
Oh
a
yeah.
longer period of time?
Oh yeah, because now, I was extremely good at baseball. That's why it was boring to me. Like, it was hitting. They put me in 8th grade. I played varsity. They put me at 4th batter, and I was on the bench the whole year. I was just good enough. They put me, they bring you up, like, okay, you're gonna learn from the guys and the seniors and all. I'm like, okay. So it was like the last bat, last inning, and they put me in. I was like, okay, and we were down, and our team sucked. We were terrible. We were down 3-1, right? We had 1 out. So I played the outfield. I came back in. Boom. All right. So I'm up, right? We got 1 out. We got one dude in front of us that doesn't hit. He always gets hit by the pitch on purpose, right? So he tries to get hit, gets out. So now we got 2 outs, 1 dude on base, which was our best player, Danny Albright. I'll never forget. He was on first base. They put me up. Now, when you're playing baseball, you're watching the pitcher the whole game to see the timing. You're practicing their timing to get their pitch down. So I remember that being, and that was the last year I played, but I remember that. So when I went up to hit, I was like, oh yeah, I can hit him easy. I knew it. Everybody else is having trouble. I'm like, wow, what the hell? It's not even a fast pitch. So I get up, and I never swing at the first pitch, ever. I always watch. I'm like, okay, because I just felt that I was cocky or confident or whatever you want to call it. I'm like, I don't care about the first pitch. I want to see what you're going to try to do. So I watched that. The second one came, and I smacked it, right? But I couldn't see it, so I thought it went out of bounds, but the sun was right in my eyes. It went straight to the sun. So I'm standing there, and the coach, and I'm looking, I'm like, and they're like, run! Right? And I'm the fastest on the team. So Danny, by the time I start running, Danny's already around second going to third. I take off. Now, it was, they didn't have a fence. It was a parking lot because it was so far, they didn't think anybody would hit it there. The ball goes all the way to the middle of the parking lot. Right? So it wasn't there's no home run back then. Right. So I'm running around the bases, but by the time I got to third, they're saying stop because they're now got the ball and they're about to throw it in. Right. Well, when they threw it, it went past them, and I stopped anyway, whereas we would have tied them because now it's 3-2. Danny's home, and I'm on third base. The next dude gets out, and we lose. But from that, they started me, put me at 4th batter now because I was the best hitter. Like, they've never seen anybody hit the ball. Like, they were like, I didn't even see it. I don't know how far it went or whatever. But from that point on, I was 4th batter. But after that year, I went and played football. I moved, went and played football, and then I went to baseball was during track season. So the coaches told me to run track to keep my speed up or whatever. I didn't have parents or whatever, mentors or nothing. I was like, okay, my friends, all the people I played football with, that's what they did. So I was just like, okay. But had I known what I know now, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm not playing football, none of that shit. No, I'm playing baseball and that's it. Because I know if I would have stayed with baseball, I'd probably just be retiring from the baseball league right now. Right now. That's the difference in having a mentor, Gary Vee, and not. You know what I'm saying? Right. I could have used the mentor at that moment in my life. Yeah. That would have changed the whole course of everything I've done in my life. Everything that's happened, everything I've been through, like it would, now maybe I wasn't supposed to go down that path, whatever. But maybe I was supposed to learn from that we do really need mentors. Yeah. But we can't just take it to that extreme, to the MLM and I want to be your mentor. Right. Only if you're doing something good for me, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't really, get down with that, but I definitely think that we need to teach each other what we learned.
Absolutely. This is a definite theme of this podcast is just to continually learn and to try to block out all the distractions and to really help us focus for 2019 because it's not getting any easier. If anything, it seems like everybody's space is getting more. There's more people involved. There's more competition involved. So you really got to stand out in what you're doing. So if you guys need to get a hold of ChasDre, how do you get a hold of him?
It's ChasDre. Everybody knows ChasDre, ChasDre on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can email me at dre@chazdre.com. You want to book an appointment, let me know. I'll email you. Again, that's dre@chazdre.com. I think that's it. How about you?
This is Mike Ramos. I'm the president and CEO of Your Car Dealer Bond. We're really helping the success of car dealers in California. Really doing a lot to help them in a variety of different ways to help not only with their surety bond, keeping those costs down with their dealer insurance, dealer management software, but in 2019 we've got some exciting things for you guys. We're gonna be dropping the first one of its time is the Your Car Dealer magazine, online publication. It'll be coming out every 2 months, and we're going to drop that later on this year, so be on the lookout for that. There's the Independent Auto Dealer Association one, but that one's actually done by the National Association, so and it's a little outdated, to be honest with you, but definitely keep a lookout for us. Instagram, hit us on Instagram, Your Car Dealer Bond. We're on YouTube. We are on Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook. It's all under the same thing, Your Car Dealer Bond. Other than that, guys, addition by subtraction. And definitely appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, guys.
Y'all take it easy.
It did seem like a lot more.